What's going on? What's going on? Welcome back to another episode of the Gentleman's Podcast. We are shooting another episode for y'all. For even though it's the holidays and we could be spending time with our families, we wanted to spend time with y'all. So we are missing one. And Mike, shout out to you. Mike is at work today, but as always, we got Eli, we got SB, and we got myself.
Sure. Tuning in, top of the morning, top of the afternoon, putting on the coast. Uh, First episode, it's Christmas edition. Try to give you different. And always make sure you like, comment.
Again, glad to be here, man. Eli, follow us. This is Scotty on TikTok, Facebook, all platforms. The GC podcast. We're doing great things out here. Happy holidays to all of y'all, and hope y'all enjoy that time with their family.
Hey, first of all, before we get started, like I wish Mike was in here too. He was like texting about that Anthony Davis versus Dwight Howard shit. I don't think he really stands like complexity behind basketball. Like just thinking because Anthony Davis can shoot the ball makes him better than the Dwight Howard. I don't think he realizes like impact matters over. You can have all this. You got the impact, bro. I'm not gonna take a non-impact player over impact.
The things that Dwight was able to do when he was fresh. I mean, talking about fresh out of high school. On top of that, we ain't talking about going to college or anything like that. You know, Anthony Davis. Ain't nothing. I fuck with Anthony Davis. That's my boy. I fuck with him hard. I like pause by the way. I like what he's been doing. I've been liking him since he's been from Kentucky on to New Orleans. But what Dwight was coming into the league doing as an 17-year-old kid, grown man, you know what I'm saying, impacting his game, literally changing his game. And like you said before, he's probably the most physical, athletic person on that squad. You know what I'm saying? So like it's the thing that he was able to do, and it's no disrespect to AG, but he ain't gonna be able to do what Dwight was doing. You see what he did when these numbers that he had before he got hurt just recently was Dwight Howard averaging that shit. He did that shit for like a solid month, and he go out with a right foot injury. You know what I mean? So, it's not really a big comparison to me.
Nah, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I ain't gonna shit on Anthony Davis. 60-point games in New Orleans, boy. Them was some polishing games, but those games were also too close to like really say like it was a solid win. You got folks like Kobe out there dropping 60 and winning by 20. You got Bron out there dropping 50. He winning by 15-10. But Anthony Davis out there dropping 60, 63, time at a time out. But it felt like he almost had to will it. And what more could you really do? And I understand like put the team on the back, but I mean, you can only do that so many times. Now, he put all that pressure on himself in New Orleans. Now he in the Lakers. He got one championship out of it. Now he can't even stay here.
Yeah, but also, putting it as far as comparison to putting each other on teams on the back, like Dwight made it to the finals, putting the team on his back. New Orleans never really went too far. I don't never really think they made no deep playoff runs. If I'm being from what I can remember,
they always got dropped out first round. I think maybe they had one second round appearance, but after that second round, the next year was the year he left. I think. I want to say that was a timeline.
You know what I'm saying? So that's really putting it on the shoulders and carrying it. So, but that's that.
Hell yeah, man. But so this week we're gonna be going back into the field of like personal growth, personal self development. Just getting back to more of a therapy session for us. So for y'all to start with Eli, what's your go to with managing stresses?
It just depends. I like to. One way I like to get on the game, of course, decompress, get on the game, come into the man cave, chill it out a little bit, get on the sticks. It's something that takes you away from like everyday constant stuff, that we go through as men, right? From work, from being a father, being a husband, all of that stuff, right? I'll get in the game, decompress a little bit. Of course, going to the gym, love doing that. Going to the gym is great. I don't really feel like it's gym time is like the best way to as far as like relieving testosterone, pent up stuff like that. I just feel like it's stress reliever is not shouldn't be your go-to as far as going to the gym shouldn't be like your go-to for stress relief. But things like that. But those are ways that you can teach his own. If you go to the gym to that is your safe haven, teach his own. But I don't feel like that should be your only resort. You know what I mean? I feel like you should be able to find whatever makes you comfortable, whatever makes you able to shut off, whatever you're able to like shut off and be like, not really worry about stuff for whatever little bit of time that it is. Whether it's outside smoking a cigar, chilling with the fam, or if that chilling with the fam relieves you from the stress, you know what I mean? Whatever.
Right. What you, Joe?
Facts, I fucks with it. Stress relieving. Like I got a bunch of stress relievers, honestly. Like gym being one of them. Pushing that iron goes crazy for me. I'd get on the game every now and then. I haven't been on the game lately, but like really for me though, it's like spending that time with the family. Like, just having family time, sitting back, letting the kids go do what the kids want to do, and then adults being adults.
Real quick on that point, I digress. I can't even say using the game is a stress reliever because that motherfucker piss you off.
That game will stress you out too, but that's a different stress.
I say the game is more of a way to unwind. Let's say that one. I want to use that one for unwind, not stress. Nah, because being that motherfucker, being in that rec league and you got motherfuckers doing what they're doing there, you're like, bruh, you cussing at the game, or you be playing these motherfuckers, Jay-Z or Mike every now and then on Madden, and then Madden be mad at them for them. Maybe getting some of the most dumbest shit off. I mean, this motherfucker ready to break the game, so. But go ahead, my bad.
No, but like, and then cooking also is a good stress reliever for me. I don't know what it is about cooking, but like getting in that kitchen and dicing
Creating
up
art.
some onions and creating art and stuff, that shit is just everything to me.
Yeah.
I think for myself, I used to think games was like a decompressant for me, but honestly, I just found myself really escaping reality too. So I stopped using it. So now my stress. In a way, it's still kind of escaping the reality, kind of living through characters on the characters. The other part of me thinks, just like Jock said, cooking takes me out of certain things. I go to the kitchen, and even if I'm making something, I'm just pancakes. So it could be the simplest thing. Kitchen in itself, just
Yeah.
And maybe that's a part of what I'm saying, being a CS. You get so used to, on I guess a recreational basis, it becomes like a second half of your life that you can't get away from. But even outside of that, like sometimes it's a gym, sometimes I found myself at times like going outside. Sometimes when I used to smoke black and miles, I go sit in the trunk when I had my SUV. Black and miles, sit out in the dark. A calming moment. I can honestly say recently, I haven't smoked in a while, but marijuana was my thing too. But it's just a lot of things that I kind of use.
Self-medicate.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying, without having to go into like a medicine or physical medication. But I go into my government. But
there's a couple other things that
go ahead, bro.
I feel like it's plenty of things that you can choose. You know what I mean? Like I like taking the boat out. It's too goddamn cold right now, especially being motherfucking 7 degrees outside. But taking the boat out, going out there, that's dope. You know what I mean? That's something I like. I really like going to the beach. JD will tell you, I wish we probably spend damn near the whole summer when it warms up. We damn near at the beach every weekend. I like that. I like just sitting by the ocean, letting that. I like that, just the waves hitting. Just looking around, looking at nature, looking at life. Stuff like that. Like that's another thing that helps me out with stress is like actually slowing down and like looking around a little bit. You know what I'm saying? You actually look around at life and see what life really is, and it's like, damn, that shit. This is beautiful. And that actually will humble me as a lot. Like especially when I stress probably feels like it's your cup's full. Just go out, look at some nature. Look at listen to the wind breathe, just look around and like feel like that's a good way to balance that stress out. just seeing God's work.
I've been thinking about like once I spill on my collaborating with somebody else to. I was thinking about getting back into fishing a little bit. Uh, not even
Yeah,
like the catch and the eat, but like catching the throw back out just to keep going the cycle. Because I remember childhood,
yeah,
things that I kind of enjoyed doing, but I remember to do it. I think back into that might be interested in playing basketball a lot more. It would definitely pique my interest. I haven't been doing much, but once a week right now because of my excited, but still being able to do that shit on a day in and day out basis.
yeah,
I know what I want to do, but I will say, man, for anybody who really doesn't have like a go to stress reliever, you just have to find something that you never targeted before. So if you've been doing something
yeah,
you've been doing so long and it just doesn't feel the same, you gotta experience the process. Do something that you think you'll never do. Like for instance, if like I said, man, I think I want to go back into fishing. I've been doing basketball since I was young. Flag football. I've done t-ball, baseball, softball with friends and shit. And I even tried swimming. I'm saying, but swimming just wasn't for me. A lot of that shit that I like and enjoy is more hobbyist than it is pressing or stress relievers. You want to find something that you're gonna be more adequate with, or something more intuitive with, consistent with, that you feel like you have yet try something norm. You ain't never too gangster go stand on the lake side, throw a rod in the water,
yeah.
catch you a base bass or something, or catch you a catfish, throw that motherfucker back in the water. Hell, you can even catch the motherfucker to eat it. Got livestock now. You can go
I'm about
ahead
to
and
say, if I
fix it.
catch me a catfish, I'm taking that to the crib.
Hey, I'm trying to
I
tell
catch
you,
me a good
look.
catfish, I'm taking that to the crib. You hear me?
But I'm just saying,
I'm
like,
trying
a lot
to
of folks don't
one
understand.
one thing that I'm trying to learn though, like, and I've been trying to learn it for a while. I've only been able to do it successfully a couple times, but meditating is like it's hard to do because it's like if you don't know how to like shut your mind off and quiet the outside world and find that perfect balance of like quiet, because even silence is loud, and that'll mess up your meditation at times. But you got to be able to like truly learn how to meditate. That's peaceful. Like I said, I've tried it plenty of times in past couple of years or so. I felt like I've only been successful to be able to do it a couple of times if I don't fall asleep. But when you actually get that true piece of like being able to like fully, truly, and it's not not that monk shit where they just all that, like truly being able to quiet your mind down, truly being able to quiet your mind down, shut off the world, and just listen to your breathing, listening to your
Just
you're
a
just that inner spirit, that right there, that's
it's
hella
sacred.
peaceful. And I said that also ties back. Say again.
It's peaceful. There is a way to do it.
Yeah,
Consider you don't have to meditate in silence. There's a way to do it because I've tried it before. If you sit in a room alone and you find a way to like just kind of sit in your own sanctum, like your own peace word for
yeah,
5 minutes.
yeah,
I've done it where I've done like classic and R&B.
yeah,
I've done it where I use
yeah.
like instrumentals, maybe like jazz or like a jazz R&B, and play it on like a
That's
low
it.
volume.
I was about to say. I was hoping you weren't gonna say it because I wanted to say it. About to say, but
Yeah,
jazz is the one. Like
yeah,
I play them.
yeah.
That's
It's cold,
that.
and
Yeah,
believe it or not, like
yeah,
even while you're hearing that instrumental, those songs, like I'm a music savant in my. I listen for sound and I listen for every. So sometimes I get so lost in like trying to discover those sounds and stuff that I go into like a completely different
yeah,
element and now taking on a different. So now I'm kind of like home different thing,
yeah.
and it's a different channel, but
Yeah.
that's something I would consider if you want to get.
So, and the reason why I say successfully doing it is because, like I said, I may even be doing it, but so I like to I'll go into the sauna. I put on some type of white noise. It could be whether it be jazz, whether it be nature. I'm really a nature person. Nature's noises, like the rain and rainforests, is like stuff like that, where I can you know whatever. Like, and I'm relaxing myself. And the reason why I say I don't feel like I successfully do it because I still feel like I can sit there for a little bit, vibe out to it, but then I'm start thinking about something. Now like, I gotta hold on, get focused, listen back to the sounds or whatever, and then I can just relax for a little bit. But then I'm stepping back into a thought of what I'm about to do when I get up out of here. I'll make sure I take protein, some shit like that. Just get back to thinking instead of being able to completely just like I said. There's only been a couple of times where I just like I'll snap. I'm like, oh shit, like damn, I've been sitting here for about 20 minutes. Like I didn't even realize it. Like the time went by and I was just you know what I mean? So
Yeah. Hey, I kind of chuckled while you were saying that. So I have this other weird thing that I do, which is I watch like videos like of animals. It sounds stupid as fuck, but it actually works. I love like hearing about
yeah,
like different animals and wildlife and shit and how they interact, how they hunt each other. Long story short. But that's another way you can use that
yeah,
shit too. It's a valuable tool. So when I listen to like people like kind of narrate, as like a lion, for instance, they'd be like, he's a predator. His only prey is such and such, or sometimes he
yeah,
can become prey to such and such. Like sometimes I kind of listen to that shit and I get so stuck in
yeah.
that narration, like I start
Oh
like
yeah.
kind of like feeling
I
that shit. Yeah, bro.
I fuck with that.
Yeah, it's hard, bro. I'm telling you.
Ask Jay.
Yeah.
Ask Jay how many times I told him I'm like, bro, when we get out, bro. I said we just chill in the living room, get high. We could just watch some Animal Planet. You feel
Hey,
me? Like
hey, look.
I'll be in.
Boy, what?
You feel me?
Hey, look, bro. So it's funny,
Boy,
bro. So
what?
I thought I was weird this whole time because I used to tell Jazz about this shit all the time, and I'd be like, "Yo, look at these videos. Look at how these animals interact." On TikTok, damn, I want to say his
Yeah.
shit used to be called Hood Nature or something like that, or something geographic. But it's a black dude.
You talk about the black dude, right?
Yeah, yeah. So like he has this like
Mem something, but he
yeah,
be on that shit.
bro. Like
He be some dope. He be say some dope shit.
yeah, like his delivery is just like he say some off the wall shit, but it's like you understand exactly what he's saying. Like he'd be like, "Yeah, you go fuck with this motherfucker. He gonna evict your life," and you be like, "What? Like what, nigga?" But like real shit, like that's the kind of shit. Like I don't understand why it's so weird for women because she's not the first woman that I've actually said like, "Look at this shit too," and she be like, "Nah, that's kind of weird." But I guess niggas like it, so I mean, I guess it's our thing.
That goes back. That goes back to like our childish nature though, because like back in the day, when we was kids, we be outside running around in the dirt, picking up ants and
Yeah,
little bugs and shit like that, and catching. That's just I feel like that's just something that was like that's in us, just to be nature
It's our
down type
nature.
thing.
yeah.
Like I thought I was weird too. I caught myself one day. I'm sitting there watching. I don't even know where it came from. I'm just sitting there and it's like, man, what's the lifespan of a fucking butterfly?
Yes,
I mean, say a little worm, and then they get
You
into a
feel me?
cocoon. And I Google it, I go YouTube it, I'm watching the fucking lifespan of a fucking butterfly. I'm like, man,
yeah.
okay.
I seen a
And
video
then I
about a
snap back
bird.
out of it, and I'm like, hold up, but I'm cool. It's
Just look
cool
up a
with
fucking butterfly.
Yeah, bro, it's kind
that.
of
A
weird,
butterfly
bro.
only live 2 months. That's a life.
Yeah, it's stressful as fuck. Nigga be over there smoking a cigarette and everything. Nigga, I only got about 60 days in me, boy. But yeah, bro.
About 60 days on this bitch.
I had no shit. I found
You got
myself looking
time?
up.
I ain't got time.
Well, I found myself looking up this damn bird that I seen on bro TikTok. Like he posted like this little white bird. It looks like a female for real, like a female bird, but it's like a very predatorial bird. I'm like, damn, bro, I gotta figure out what the fuck this bird is. And like every day I try to look for it. Like even the day I went back to try to look for the video, I couldn't find it, but I'm gonna find it at some point. But he was talking about fucking birds, the whole video on YouTube, bro, and I was just like interested. All these damn birds out here crazy as shit. But, hey, another topic. But what I'm saying, off subject. But I had to throw that out there. My bad, man. But yeah, that's another way to what I'm saying, clear stress.
Hey, you ain't alone. You ain't alone, homie. So I was saying,
Hey,
you ain't alone.
you're not alone at all.
Hey, shout
I
out
mean,
to all
it's
the
actually
niggas
good confirmation right there. Like, all right, cool. I ain't the only one. You know
I ain't
what
the only
Hey, fool, I'm telling you, bro, I
I'm
was
gonna
in my
look at some
own
shit
little
a little
shelter,
later.
bro. I never want to say that shit out loud, but I'm like, shit, fucking at this point, man. So anxiety and depression, right? So I think I want to talk about this a little bit. So I think we all have like our own personal fears about certain things in life, right? So my anxiety is being in a room full of people that I don't know. So anytime I've noticed, like when I went to this last event with my best friend, again, shout out to Ebony. A lot of people don't believe in monogamous friendships with opposite sex, but good friend to have. I went to a kickback with her, with her peoples, and long story short, some people realized that I stuck to her hip instead of like partying until I got comfortable. but I always make myself a fly on the wall until I get comfortable at places
Yeah,
or comfortable anywhere,
yeah,
and mainly because of my anxiety, right? So I know a lot of that derives from my
yeah,
childhood. I never like being around people. So, you know what I'm saying? Even when I go somewhere, I
yeah,
always try to stay hip to hip with somebody I know. Or if I find somebody I remotely
yeah.
familiar with, you know what I'm saying? That's my easy way out, right? Um, do y'all have like
Yeah.
same instances with that, or do y'all have like other ways of like putting your
Oh,
anxiety?
100%. So like, um, it's especially for the black community. That's real. Anxiety, depression, that's real. I mean,
Very.
again, the others are always gonna say get over it, and it's been so long. Like, but that shit is real. Like, it's genetically real. That's in our DNA structure. You feel me? Like, you think about all this shit, that history of black men, and not just talking about the history of just slavery, but that's a big part of this diagnosis or this diagnosis or whatever, right? Like, that is real. But we can go back down that rabbit hole a little later. But as far as like, I'm 100% the same way with you. As far as like, you might not know, but like when I get to a room, I'm an observer. I got to see before I know how I'm gonna react or how I'm gonna act. I need to see what the energy's like, and I'm big on energy. You know, what I mean, I'm big on energy. I feel energy. I'm big on that, but I also got to see which person this energy is coming from. Like, okay, I feel this energy in the room. All right, let me see who okay, that's okay. I'm peeping that shit.
Yeah,
Like I said, I can be quiet all day and I'm chilling. You know what I mean? Like, you might meet me and be like, if you never met me before, through jail or whatever, like, would it be a person just like, damn, you quiet, man, you don't really say nothing. I'm just an observer.
yeah,
I'm just
yeah,
watching how I can be around it. Like,
Watching everything.
once you get me talking, and once you get me open me up or whatever, you know, so I can go. Like, this, okay, I can vibe with it because I don't like to, and that goes with my anxiety though, because I don't, growing up how we grew up with just a young mom and shit like that, certain things, there's certain ways that you always gonna act and react. And like me specifically, you know, growing up a heavy set kid, I got picked on a lot as a kid. So like, I don't like to make myself look stupid. Like, I don't like to feel like I'm looking stupid. So like, okay, let me go ahead and engage this real quick. Let me see how this is before I get you get the real me. You know what I mean? And it's like that's that. And then like there'd be times where like, you know, on another note, like anxiety, like I can be asleep. I wake up 2 o'clock in the morning. You know what I mean? And my mind's just going. It's just
yeah,
going. I'm like thinking about all this shit, thinking about all this shit, and like I start thinking about like really scary thoughts. You know, nothing harming myself or anybody else, but like just, you know, things of even life, ending life, or not ending life. That didn't come out right. Like when life is over, or like afterlife, like, and I could be just sitting there, just my mind's just going, and I be wanting to shut that shit off, and it's like, you know what I mean? And like your shit it gets scary. It gets scary when you go down that. Like, you get too deep into your thoughts and shit. That shit can get scary.
Hell yeah.
Which
That shit.
would also lead to making you depressed. You know what I mean? Like, because like you get to things where it's like, you know, there's just some things that you can't control. There's some things that you just can't change. And then like that shit start making you feel sad, and then you're like, damn. And then that shit starts sucking a little bit, start getting some. But I say when you know you start feeling like that, like, 'cause I'm not a religious person, but I'm very big on like spirituality and believing in a higher power. When you start feeling like you get into that mode where your thoughts start making you feel like, you know what I'm saying, putting you in a depressed state, you really got to just you got to start praying, just start praying. Be most high. Like, hey, I need you right now. Like, I thought, and bro, it works. It works. You know what I'm saying? You'll get your peace of mind. He or she, whatever the most high may be, they'll give you that peace of mind.
That's facts. Like with me, bro. Like one, I'm a room reader as well. Like I always read the room. Like you can invite me anywhere you want. Like if it's your homies and cool, you like, oh yeah, we over here, we drinking or whatever. That might be the lightest you ever seen me drink because I don't know nobody. So I'm a chill. I'm observe the room. You know, I'll talk to people. I'll mingle a little bit, but it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like if I don't know you, I don't know you. So I get real anxious with that, and then like I do the same thing like he just said, where I'll wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning and mind racing. Mind racing, like I've been tired all day and I finally get to go to sleep, and now I'm just up at 2 o'clock in the morning looking stupid. Just mind racing, mind going everywhere. Or there's nights where I can't even sleep. There's been plenty of times where I walked into the Eli house and said, yeah, bro, I ain't get that much sleep last night because I was just up thinking. Just up thinking, mind going 100 miles an hour or whatever. And then, like with the depression thing, like I try not to be depressed. I don't want to be depressed. Like I always try to be positive, be that positive mindset or whatever. Be the positive energy in the room or whatever. So like I try not to let depression get to like reach me because I don't want it. Like I've been in that state before where you are depressed and it's like that shit sucks.
Yeah.
That shit sucks. Like that is like the worst feeling in the world. And then like what I try to do is I try to like let life be life.
Yeah.
Like accept life for what it is. So one of the things that I actually do I do a lot is like when my mind's going 100 miles a minute and I'm thinking about everything, I'll sit back and I like just look at what I've accomplished so far. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like at one point in time, you know, the life we was living back in the day, people didn't think you would see 21 and I'm seeing 28.
Yeah.
And I sit there and I look and I be like, dang, bro, I got my own crib, got my own car, you know, son live with me. I got food in the house, my bills is paid, and I'm chilling. I got a job, go to work every day. You know what I'm saying? I'm chilling. I don't want for or need for anything. Of course, we all want more, but I don't need for a thing out here in these streets. I want more. Shit, I would love to hit the lotto today. I quit the Navy so quick, but you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, like I'm chilling. Like somewhere somewhere on God's green earth, there's somebody who's looking at my life like he's made it because theirs is so much in shambles. So I just got to take what I got. I got to take it for granted and be like, you know what I'm saying? I appreciate what I got.
Yeah.
So I would say
Great.
the scary part is I really used to think that I was paranoid, right? But like after the conversation we just had, you start to realize more and more. Like it's not something I came to a realization about. Actually, something, but I came to the realization that anxiety and trauma is a real factor in our lives, right? So if we're all having similar conversations about how we feel about thoughts and shit, and this, that, and the third, like we all have to realize like visuals that sometimes our traumas are real, and we ignore trauma so much because we compartmentalize. And I know I use that word a lot. Compartmentalizing is literally just us just sealing away our thoughts, feelings, and emotions towards something.
Fucking you up, man. Nah,
Yeah, bro.
that word took you out.
I was fucking it up for a minute, but yeah,
Go ahead, though. Go ahead.
Like we get so used to and accustomed to like just pushing shit off so much, and we become nonchalant with our lives and nonchalant about feelings and emotions and shit sometimes. And I understand, like as men, we grew up and we had so many people pushing us in the direction of don't allow your feelings to overtake who you actually need to be. But we don't even know who we need to be, so we got molded into something completely different as opposed to what we could have been. So yeah, we got to the point that we are now, but we never took the time to actually seek therapy and seek help for those traumas and those anxiety tactics that we actually needed to actually get us to where we be. So now here we are, 26, 28, 29, 30, 35, wherever we are in life. We're just now talking about the topics. We're just now, tapping into the fact that we actually needed that help. So now we seek for that help within each other. And even though we can look at each other as counselors, there's only so much professionalism we can actually have between each other that we can't get from somebody else, because that next person that may be actually a trained professional in this field, we actually need to go talk to them, discover what else we can do to kind of overcome what we need to overcome. Because just like y'all said, y'all may be in a good place now, and I may be in a decent place now. We could all be in bad places right now, and somebody looking on the outside looking in at us think we got it made, but maybe they're going through some shit and they weren't able to handle their traumas and their anxieties and their problems in their childhood and their upbringing the way we were able to handle. They kind of fell through the seams because they didn't have that extra help. They didn't have a support system to provide it. And so, in a nutshell, that's pretty much why I wanted to make a podcast. This shit is like something that needs to be talked about a lot, and it's not about being vulnerable. It's not about emotions and shit, so on. But you gotta, as a man, bro, you gotta know when the time is to really face yourself. Look in that mirror.
I mean, but at the same time, though, like when you don't have those avenues, you don't have that whatever you're looking for. You know what I'm saying? It make it tough. But then when you see like other people around you, or you put your business out here, you got family doing it, you see I can't put this out there because as soon as I tell such and such this, then they're gonna tell such and such this, and then now you looking, it's it's a process, man. That's a process, but like I feel like we weren't. I can't even take away what nothing you said because you basically hit the nail on the head with that though. Like that, you gotta find the time in yourself. Get right with yourself first, and then or even try to get right with yourself. Learn who you are as a person, as an individual, as a man first. Get comfortable with that, and then go seek hey homie, bro, I need to talk, bro. Like I need to talk, bro. Whatever the case is, like Bray hit the nail on the head with that one though. Hit the nail on the head with that one.
So the next thing I wanted to say, like, there was a part of me, 5-6 years ago where I didn't talk about how people were. So a lot of people don't even know that I got depressed to the point where I couldn't talk to anybody. I didn't go to Jock, and I don't know if Jock told you like the extent of our relationship, our friendship, but I consider Jock a big brother to me. In so many ways, he's done a lot of things. Even I couldn't look to my siblings for many personal reasons, or less because he was actually. But there was a time where I actually went through such a depressing time that I thought about driving off the Hampton Bridge, and it was partly due to my separation, going through a transition, not knowing. Saying even though I had a support system back home, it didn't feel right. It didn't feel right. I felt like I failed. I felt like I disappointed so many people. I felt so much in the process of me up until of it that I lost touch with everybody. I lost friends. I lost family members behind. It's so many other things tied into it as X, Y, and Z variables. But I regret, the only thing I regret about that time was that I actually had that thought instead of seeking out to someone. And I have to commend Jock because he was there when I needed him most. I just didn't turn to him. And for anybody out there struggling with whatever you're going through, because I'm not going to get into the extent of what I was actually mentally, but if anybody's going through shit that I went through, try your best to seek help. Like turning to alcohol is not the way. I was drinking every single day from morning to night. I had a cup on my dresser when my ex went. She went on the ship. I had a drink on my nightstand. I took a shot. Dropped my son off at daycare. I drank some more. As soon as I get him done, I drive over to Hampton Bridge over to meet some folks that I knew out there, and I was drunk. I was completely shit faced. And I was driving across the bridge for at least 3 to 4 miles. For anybody that know how long that fucking bridge is, going over fucking pure body of water, like it's a scary sight in itself. And then to go under a bridge or go under the water into a fucking tunnel bridge and to end up on the other side, like it's a whole scary experience, especially for somebody who doesn't like or feel comfortable driving on that kind of area. But for somebody who doesn't like driving in that kind of area, but also drunk behind it, like you got to understand like what you have to be going through mentally to actually be willing to do something so stupid and just chaotic in so many ways. So I started talking about that a couple months back, and I probably said it in one of the previous episodes as well. But this is just one of those times where you just have to really say this out to the public. Like, there's people out there who are really going through some things, and people that actually commit to something like that. I was one of those lucky ones who didn't commit to it because I thought about something bigger than myself. But there may not be a person that may be as strong as me, and even in that situation, I didn't think I was that strong. But here I am. You know what I mean? Everybody doesn't get to say here I am.
Yeah.
So again, for those who are like really struggling with depression, like please go seek out for somebody, because you just never know what somebody may say to you, because that person may change your whole thought process. But you also got to know who to turn to, because everybody doesn't really have your back. Sometimes people just want to be in your business just to be in business, and that's kind of what leads people on to go further than just thinking about things. Because you go tell the person that you think has your back, and you find out that person don't told this person, that person, and that person, when you could have just went to somebody that you actually knew had your back. Because we all know deep down who really has our back, but we typically turn to people who we think have our back, even when we know that really for us. So, just for anybody watching, again, keep that in mind, man. This is something that's going to give you, it's going to give you mental freedom in so many ways. It's going to give you a little bit of empowerment, and maybe I'm not the voice you want to hear to tell you, but I mean, I'd rather tell you my path. I didn't commit to it.
Yeah, I think once we're able to, biggest part of that, once you're able to get out that mindset of saying how I feel makes me look weak. If you can get out that mindset of no, saying how I feel actually makes me look strong. You know, I'm
Mhm.
able to say, yo, I didn't like that shit. You know, I'm able to say, hey, that shit hurt. Like, I feel like, especially us as black men, you know, I can't speak for any other race, but I can say particularly us and black men, you know what I mean? Growing up, especially growing up without a father figure, you know what I mean? Growing up not being able to have that 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 foundation, that person there or whatever, you know, that shit hurts. You know what I mean? So and it makes you mad. You know, but instead of saying, hey man, my feelings is hurt, I want this, you know, I want that, like I want my pops around or whatever. You know what I mean? Like I need this in my life. Instead of saying like that, my feelings is hurt, I need that, you know, we put it on with a meme mug. You know what I'm saying? We like, oh man, you soft, like it's people joking and whatever, and it's like then you start to pin that shit up. You know what I'm saying? Now you don't know how to express yourself. Now you don't know how to say I feel, you know what I mean? And honestly, it's making you weak. It's making you weak because it's now you snapping. Now you got anger issues. Now you mad at the world. Now you getting in trouble and now you lashing out and shit. Now you joining gangs because you looking for that comfort place. You know you start doing all the wrong things instead of being able to be like, no, like that shit hurt. My feelings is hurt. Like I didn't like that shit. Like, you know what I mean? Okay, well let's talk about it. Because not people ain't mind readers, and you know, maybe that can be a thing too. Like, you know what I'm saying? You can automatically create a situation in your head because you know, you like, oh, if I say this to this person, to that person, or whatever, and now you created a whole situation. It might not be like maybe and maybe you say how I feel. Oh shit, I didn't even know that was bothering you. I didn't know you felt like that. I didn't even know you was, you know what I'm saying? I didn't even know that you was going through that stuff. Like, so what? Let's get you some help. Like, I care for you. Like, you know, maybe sometimes that might be all you need to hear is like, damn, I didn't know. I'm sorry. I care for you. Like, let's get you some help. I'm here for you. You know, what can I do to help you? You know, and it's like, oh shit. And those are two breakthroughs. Like now all of a sudden it's like, oh shit, that's all I've been looking for. Is a motherfucker to care or damn, you know, somebody actually does care, you know, being able once you are able to express yourself, it's not weak. That's not weak. And I commend, like I said, I commend uh Charlemagne for what every time he says that shit to his face is blue. He's always talking about mental health, and like like I hear him, but it needs to be said. Like mental health, that shit needs to be said. Care about your mental health. Don't go chasing that bottle. That bottle ain't that's gonna make that shit worse. You know that you know you can enjoy yourself. You can you know have these extracurricular things, but when you're upset or you're hurting, run into those things. That's not it. Because once those things is out, you right back in the same spot. You know what I mean? So like mental health is a bit that's real. Like you really gotta give a fuck about your mental health. You really gotta care about that shit. And there's nothing wrong with that shit. But find your safe haven. If you need hey, if you need to go to a doctor or a shrink or whatever you know you call it, whatever you want to call it. If you need to go talk to somebody in that case, go. Go. Who gives a fuck about what they think? Because everybody's going to some shit. Everybody's going to some shit. So why is your shit worse than their shit? Like, you know what I mean? And I say that in effect of like, oh, I'm going through my own shit, so I'm gonna go get my help. Like, you know, so who gives a fuck about what you think about that? I'm going through something. I need help, and I'm seeking my help. That's not weak. That's me needing help. I'm gonna go get my help. So
Don't
I
dismiss.
100% agree with that shit, man. If you're going through some shit, go get your help. If you don't know how, talk to somebody. There's people here everywhere. Like there's people everywhere, and I get it. No, but I hate people in my business like that. I don't want to be out there. If I don't want my business to be out there, I don't like my if that gets out there. But if you get to a point where you need that help, you know what I'm saying? It's
Okay,
you know what I mean. I don't want anybody hurting themselves because they didn't have it. I much rather you know what I'm saying. This is me personally. I much rather if I was going through some shit, I'd rather I tell somebody, and if they put my business out there, it reaches somebody that can actually help me, as opposed to me holding on to my shit and just letting it eat me up, and then next thing you know, I do something to hurt myself. So
You said
I
it.
don't know.
You said a
That's
powerful line in there, bro. And I found myself saying it a couple months. Cheated on actually. I told Jasmine straight up. I said, man, that shit hurt my feelings, man. That shit broke my heart, and
yeah,
I told her just like that. Shit hurt my feelings, and I'm disappointed, bro. And I think that changed a lot in relationship when it was. Of course, I'm single right now, but when it wasn't in place, that line in itself, it held some weight. So it doesn't matter what situation
yeah,
you're in, whether
Mhm.
relationship or whatever it is. Like it's okay to tell somebody they hurt your fucking feelings. It's okay to tell somebody they
yeah,
fucked up. It's okay to tell them And look, that's a powerful statement, bro.
Very, very powerful. It's crazy because I was sitting there listening to y'all talking. I really this is one of those. I really wish Mike was in here because Mike could tell you about his situation. He stated it on the podcast before, but this would be a good topic for him when he was talking about when he was going through his shit and he kept going through. He went and seen the chaplain. I can't remember how long, but he went to seek the help. I went and seek help. My help was when I was going through my shit. The biggest thing that I've ever done was at first it was just reaching out to my mom. I was reaching out to my mom every morning. Me and her talked every morning when I was going through my shit. And then, SB, you was there. I was talking to you all the time. But I also was like reaching out to my higher power.
Mm-hmm.
I was reaching out to my higher power. Like when I got them sat back and started reaching out to my higher power and just like, it's so crazy because it's like, you never know what help you need. Sometimes for me, it's just actually saying that shit out loud.
Yeah.
And like when I hear my own problems and I say that shit out loud, I kind of like I start figuring shit out. And like it's like crazy. Like so when I used to do that, even when I used to when I pray when I'm in the bed and I pray out loud because sometimes I just need to hear it. Yeah. So even if it's me hearing myself speak, I hear it and then I can move on forward and then but to the other people, like to anybody else, there are so many people out here. There's so many people like you got your homies, you got your friends, you got family. But if turning to them is not what you want to do, there are actually people that get paid to sit there with a notepad and a pen and listen to you. And just listen. Yeah. And then on top of with that technically counts as doctor-patient confidentiality, they can't go tell nobody. Mm-hmm. Not unless you give that okay. They cannot tell nobody about none of the stuff you got going on. They could just sit there, listen, and help you find the root to your depression or to your anxiety or to whatever it is you're going through. There's people out here who get paid for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think something really important that needs to be said is if I haven't learned anything since I've gotten into a very scary process, but adulthood is just really fucking scary. Is that manifestation is a real if you don't believe in a higher power, if you don't get into religion, so be it. I'm not really heavy on religion. I believe there's a high power, of course, whole different topic. But I'm not limited to just one religion. So I found my other outlet at manifestation, which was actually something that was brought up to me by Jasmine. So I'm going to her on that for even bringing that to me, even though she jabbed it in me for a very long time, and I finally took heed to it. Manifestation, after it happened to me once, I realized that just putting things out into the atmosphere is a real thing. If you put anything negative into the world, it's gonna affect you in a negative way. If you keep telling yourself you're broken, if you keep telling yourself you're not gonna make it, if you keep telling yourself you keep fucking up, it's just gonna continue to happen in the cycle. But if you start throwing out there words of affirmation, words of positivity, you throw out those positive affirmations out for yourself and not asking for things, and that's the key to it. You don't ask for things. You tell yourself, you tell the atmosphere what you're going to get and when you need to get it. And even if you don't want to put a time frame on it, you just say, I want money. I need this. This is going to happen for me. That's what you do. You start putting that thing out to the atmosphere. You said, man, I'm going to make my meal. I'm going to get my house. I'm going to get my car. I'm going to get my shit together. I'm going to get my kids right. I'm going to live happily ever after. That's the kind of shit you have to put in the atmosphere, because once you start manifesting those things, you start realizing those manifestation wishes are coming to fruition. My nigga, like everything changes for you. Your whole life pattern changes. Your walk, your talk, your strut, your masculinity, your aura, everything around you just starts building. A lot of people, believe it or not, which is also a rare thing that you're going to see, but when people actually reach a different level of life, you start to see like this little outline of aura around their body. And again, this is something that people don't understand that's a real thing. But when you actually start seeing those people walk around and when a positive person is coming up to you, you see an outline of their body right around them. You don't even know what it is. It's just something there.
You feel that energy. You know what I mean? And like again, I said I'm not. I did my thing again. So I just thought about a whole other topic, but I did my thing at one point in time with the religion thing. So I've studied. I know how. I know this. I know the word to an extent. You know, I mean, I got my understanding. You know, but one of the things that I definitely learned in this word is one of the things that the Most High has said. You know, it said, "I am the great I am." You know, I'm paraphrasing, but it was essentially. I know y'all know what I'm talking about, but that we encompass the Most High Spirit in us. So when you say those things like "I am going to," when you saying them affirmations, "I am going to do this," you're speaking these words out into the atmosphere. You're that I am. You know what I mean? I am. That's you putting that God. What am I looking for? That's you basically putting that stamp on that stamp on that verbiage. I am going to do this. I am going to do this. I am going to do this. I am. It's like you already. That's how you need to lead it off with it. I am going to do this. Like when you're saying when you're doing those things, that's you speaking that power onto it. You know what I'm saying?
And that even goes as far as your help, man. If you don't know where to go, man, speak that affirmation into the. I'm gonna find help. I'm gonna find that. I'm gonna find the right person for myself. I'm gonna find the person that's gonna give me. I don't know when it's gonna come. I don't know where to go, but I'm gonna find it. If I don't find it, it's
Yeah.
gonna find me. Just keep telling yourself
Mm-hmm.
that. Just tell yourself that shit every day, man. It doesn't matter how it comes. It's gonna come though. It like a
Facts.
fuck for all you fucking
Absolutely.
know. Like believe it or not, like I found that one thing that I know brings me a lot of peace, joy, happiness, and a lot of I guess confirmation for myself is my son brings a little bit some things a little bit different. My son brings a guy out. My son brings like the person that I feel like I should be, and he makes me think logically. My daughter brings out the more vulnerable side of me. She brings out the person that wants to talk more, the person that wants to evolve. So while my
Yeah.
daughter's here, I've realized that I'll sit right there sometimes and she'll just babble, doesn't even know what I'm saying, and I'm just communicating with her. And it almost feels like it's so easy to
Yeah.
talk to her and get information out of myself that I probably can't get out of anybody else. But I'm saying that to say like sometimes your guidance or your therapy or your help might not even come from a fucking adult. It might come from a child. It might come from a teenager.
That's true.
It might come from a fucking
That's true.
bystander just walking down the highway. They could be on some Grand Theft Auto
Yeah.
shit, just saying the most random shit. Yeah, I'm gonna go
Yeah.
fuck these streets up, and then just walk off, and you never hear anything from them again. Like I know y'all know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about. I'll be walking down
Yeah.
Yeah.
GTA, walking down GTA, be like, man, fuck this shit. I'm gonna get some popcorn. And like maybe that's what you needed to hear, nigga. Like, you know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Fuck this shit. I'm gonna
Yeah.
give me some
Okay.
popcorn. You
You
go
know
get
what?
you some popcorn. Hey, look.
Popcorn do sound good right
Hey,
now.
look.
Shit.
But see, look, like that popcorn could lead you into a gas station where somebody else is in there trying to give you a word. You go get your little scoop of popcorn in the
Yeah.
movie theater. Now you next to somebody. Hey, look, I feel you. Something about me is saying talk to you, and now you got a whole new connection.
Yeah. Yeah.
So everything collides in
Yeah.
the right way, and you just have to listen to those
Man,
messages. You know what I'm saying?
I got so many stories like that.
Man,
I got so many situations like that.
man. And see, I think my problem is I'm realizing that I've had so many instances like that, but I never took advantage of them. I don't got cars from people in
Yeah.
cigar lounges. I don't sit in cigar lounges with like fucking billionaires and motherfuckers give me their car. You know, I
Yeah.
work with Toyota. All right, bet. I just left it at that. Didn't say shit else. Had a whole conversation with her for an hour and a
Yeah.
half, drinking fucking honey jack and coke mix. Got the fucking lime in it. You know, bought me 2-3 cigars, 2-3 more cups of alcohol and shit. Never even reached out. Never
Yeah.
even looked at that card again. But here I am. If I would have took advantage of those
Yeah.
opportunities then, what would I be? But we
Yeah.
gotta start looking for those signs. And when you don't know what to look for, man, take advantage of everything. Everything.
Yeah. Yeah. Pray. Just pray, man. I'm always gonna stand on this. I don't care. I'm always gonna stand on this. And this is me. You know, I can't speak for anybody else, but I'm always gonna stand on prayer. The power of prayer is for real. You know what I mean? You
Her
pray
prayers
about
for
it.
real.
You might not get what you want, but you're gonna get what you need every time. And
Every single time.
if you pray right and you say the right things, you know, to the Most High, you let them, you know, you ask the Most High, you know, this is what I need in my life. I need also the understanding to be able to understand these things, the guidance, you know, the wisdom, the knowledge, the discernment, and he or she's gonna bless you with all of that. So, okay, boom, this is what you're getting. Okay, this is what you're not getting. This is why you ain't getting it. This is why you are getting it. This is why, and then it'd be, bro, it hit you like a brick. You'd be sitting there, and it'd be just sometimes it'd be some random thing. You'd be sitting, there, you'd be like, oh, I got it. I got it. You know what I mean? And it's amazing. That's an amazing feeling in itself. Just like, okay, one, I know you're listening to me. Two, or mainly, I know you're real. I know you're listening to me, and I know I'm in your favor. So all those are check marks. So boom, I'm like, boom, this is what I need. God, please bless me with this. Bless me with this. Bless me with this. I need this. I need this. I need this. And then it's like, boom, I get this. I'm like, okay, oh, okay. You there? You sit there? Okay, let me get. You know what I mean? That's always that right there. That's amazing. That's amazing in itself. So
Um,
pray, man, pray. Whatever you go through, pray.
Hour of prayer.
Even when you're happy, even when you're in a good
Pray.
place, even when you're in a
Pray.
good place, pray.
that's important. That's
Pray.
important sentence.
That's
Do not
important.
seek prayer when it's just bad, because you're gonna get what you're asking for when you want it. You gotta go whenever the time shows, man. You want to pray and just say thank you, do it. You want to pray and say I did this. I did this and it's on me. Say it. Want to pray and tell them about your bad days. Pray. Make sure you pray when you having a really good days too, because show appreciation. Appreciation is valuable. I'm telling you, everything is valuable in life, and even when you go to about negative things, that's value. Those negative marks, those negative strikes in your life are all learning lessons and teaching moments. You don't take advantage of every single moment of your life, it's gonna take you somewhere where you don't want to go. Appreciate and value everything while you can. So with that being said, I do want to say touch on one more thing before we start wrapping up, which is anger management. It doesn't have to be something like real yet, because we pretty much talked about everything possible to do depression, which kind of follows suit with anger management as well. So I guess I'll start with Jock this time. What you got for anger management?
Anger management. Anger management. That's crazy, because one thing I've learned, especially with being myself, and then growing up with somebody like Eli, the nicest people have anger management. The dopest people, like they have anger issues. You know what I mean? Like, if y'all meet Eli in person, the one thing you find out about Eli's a goofball, bro. Like, Eli is funny as shit, but Eli can snap real quick. Same with me. I'm gonna tell a joke all day. I love keeping people laughing, but then I can get angry so quick. So with anger management, it's like, how do you battle? How do you battle your anger management? How do you keep your anger? How do you keep your anger in check? Like, I know for me, uh, I I understand what can happen if I lose my temper. I know how quickly things could go left if I truly get angry. So I have to check my own ego at the door. Hell, once I became a parent, that was a big thing. Like, I definitely had to check myself at the door, because it's like, I can't be angry. I can't have this much anger and be an effective parent,
You turn around your
because
kid.
then, yeah, I don't want to lash out on my kid. Like, I do not want to draw so much anger towards my kid, like, because of something that happened at work. You know what I mean? Like, I had a checking my ego at the door was like the big thing for me. Like, gotta check that shit at the door, because I do not want to be angry. Like, I want to be able to sit down and have a grown up conversation instead of being angry all the damn time. You know what I mean? Like me and Eli do that shit all the time. We just sit down and talk. There's been plenty of times where we just sat down, we'll pour up some whiskey, have our cigar, and we'll just sit there and shoot the shits. And that helps, instead of, and like I know for me, I can't speak for him because I don't know how he feels about it, but I can speak for myself when I say, like, when we get to talking and I get to talking all that shit, all the anger that I probably had was released in that very moment. And it just helps a lot. So then when we come back and we reconvene and we sitting there, boom, and I come back into the house and we chilling, I ain't angry at the kids. I ain't angry at anybody around me. I'm good. I'm great. I got all that shit out. I've checked my anger at the door, and we left that shit outside.
Yeah.
Eli.
So one of mine is I got a couple points on that, right? Always think twice, speak once, right? Don't
Like that.
speak to react. Don't speak to react. You know what I mean? And also listen. Don't respond, but listen. Or listen to, you know what I mean? So I say about that, like if the situation presents itself, and trust me, this has been a long time of learning. You know what I mean? Because anger issues, like I don't know how many motherfucking holes I punched in the walls. You know what I mean? And just out of anger, I don't know how many times that a situation got blown out of proportion because I was angry instead of just listening. You know what I mean? And like, okay, hold up. And it's cool. It's cool. You can always, especially, let's use relationship for example. Especially relationship, it's fine to be able to say, let me go ahead and walk away for it. It's fine to go away for a little bit. Go your other room. You ain't got to go. Now, don't do like we used to do back in the day. Get in the car, go ride to some other bitch's house or some shit like that. No, just go. You can go downstairs. If she's upstairs, you can take yourself downstairs. Even with the kids, if they're here, take yourself over here to the garage. Take yourself outside. Get yourself together first. Get your because when you answer when you're responding out of anger, it may be you're true, but you're gonna also do something that you shouldn't have done. You're gonna do something more than likely if you do it out of anger, you're gonna regret it. You're
Yeah,
gonna regret it
I
because when
will.
you finally get yourself to calm down, yeah,
Now I was gonna say real quick. I think I know where you're going. I like to say it's you listen to understand and not listen to respond.
that's exactly what I was wanting to say. I couldn't get it right. Appreciate
Yeah,
that, but you, it's fine to take yourself out of the situation first. Take it because I promise you. Because after you say some shit, and I know I've done it plenty of times. You say some shit, you do some shit, and then when you finally calm yourself down, you're like, "Fuck, I shouldn't react." But if you can able to stop yourself real quick, pull yourself away from the situation. I tell my wife all the time, like, hey, you can go be like, let me go ahead and get my shit together right quick. I gotta think about this. Let me calm myself because even when you actually take the time to think about it, most of the time that shit ain't even really that big. It's not even really that
hmm
important. It's not even really that deep. It really
yes,
be some dumb shit like, what I'm saying? Like, why you ain't do this? Why you ain't do that? And it's like, well, shit, I was goddamn in la la land. I was just in autopilot mode. And okay, now reset yourself or boom, like yo, I had a long day, irritated. Like you just kind of got what somebody else was supposed to get. It's because you were never able to decompress yourself and never able to be able to step away, stop yourself, think about it, calm yourself down, and then once you're calm, then you can go back. You can also hear. You can hear a little bit better. It's like okay, oh shit, I didn't even see that because I was on red. I didn't even realize that's what you said. Like okay, even the kids, they're all over the place. They're all over the place. It's just like, well, shit, like, babe, I just gave them some ice cream. I'm like, shit, you gave them ice cream? I gave them cookies. Like, oh, okay, shit, that's why these little motherfuckers ain't sitting down. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, okay, I ain't even, so be able to assess the situation. Well, I feel like the best thing with anger management, you got to control yourself first before you can try to react to somebody else or control somebody else. Control yourself first. Get your thoughts together. Play that shit on your head. Take blame in which you're part of whatever the situation may be. Be able to be like, okay, hold up. Okay, shit, I shouldn't even came off that. Talk to yourself, get yourself together, and then more than likely you'll be able to handle the situation effectively.
like that. I like that.
So SB,
So
before you go, because like I was before you start going in, SB,
yeah,
uh, I will say because like I kept saying I'll check my anger at the door. It is I do check my anger at the door, but it's okay to be angry. It's okay to have that emotion.
That's
It's
true
a part of
too.
life.
That's true too.
It is a part of life. Like it is okay to say that something pissed me off. Now
Yeah.
if you the smart route to do it is like Eli said, walk away from the situation. Of course, talk to yourself, calm yourself, reassess the situation, and then come back and be like,
Yeah.
this is why it
Yeah.
made me angry.
Yeah. You're right. You're allowed to be angry. Control that anger, but don't let that shit
But
control you.
control it.
I respect that.
Exactly.
I respect
Control
that.
the anger. Don't let it control you.
look at that. So I was gonna say avoid not being selfish because it can haunt you. That's just one of the lessons I learned. It kind of goes hand in hand with what you guys were talking about as far as like the nicest people being the angriest people at the time. So um, not many people can attest to who I was previous to who I am as an adult. So a lot of people think I'm more aligned with the asshole version. But for the people who really understand who I am, I'm not necessarily an asshole. I just stopped taking shit from people. So when I communicate things to
Mm-hmm.
you, a lot of times I,
I
I,
like that.
I read the context of the relationship and how we're interacting, and based off of how you respond to me or how you come at me is how I'm going to respond to you or react. So if if you're going to give me the energy of a dickhead,
I can
I'm gonna
understand that.
yeah, I'm going to acknowledge who you are as a person without disrespecting you in a way. So I'm not one of those people who's going to tell you the truth to hurt your feelings, because a lot of people feel like when you tell people the truth, a lot of times you try to tell them the truth just to hurt their feelings or try to get at them because you don't like the way they responded to you. But a lot of times the way I approach people is I tell them off rip. First, I'll do something that my mom does, which is when you say something dumb or you say something irrational or you say something that is out of line in so many ways or more, less words than more, I get you to hear what you said to me, so I'll repeat what you said or I'll ask you to say it again so you can hear what you said. And if you don't catch on to it, then I'm going to kind of tell you how I feel about what you said in that very moment. I'm not the type of person to wait until you know, a couple of days down the line when tempers kind of went down or when I had time to think things over, because there's not a time for me now where I feel like people need time to readjust themselves at a later time, because I'm gonna correct you in that moment. And part of that came from previous experiences where people done ran over me and abused who I was as a nice individual. So now when people see who I am today, for people who met me back in the day or back in high school, middle school, where I was the justice who always said, hey, I got $1. I'll give you the last dollar out my pocket. I'll give you the last 20 out my pocket. I'll do this for you. I'll go out of my way to do this for you. Now I don't do the same shit no more. And it's not because I'm not nice, because I'm still a kind-hearted person and a genuine person at the end of the day. But the context and when I do things for people is completely different. I shape my life and build my life around me being selfish sometimes. And it's not to be selfish because I want to disrespect anyone, to be selfish because I don't want to get hurt by anyone or I don't want to be disrespected by anyone. I'm building that wall up because I feel like people need to have walls in every relationship to an extent. So
Yeah.
that comes along with me it's me managing my anger, right? I don't want to get into a relationship with someone, whether it's platonic or intimate or whatever situation may be, and I set the standard or precedent that you get to do and say whatever you want to do, because if you do that, I'm going to get mad, and I have a very short fuse, and partly due to my genetic inheritance, and I can't control it.
Yeah.
So if I know I can do something to kind of manage or kind of like bend that corner a little bit, I'm gonna do it. So if that means I gotta set that boundary right now, and I gotta set that precedence right now, that's what I'm gonna do. So now I became more of a selfish person than a selfless. What's up?
I I agree, and I understand. I understand where you come up from. I understand what you're saying, and I agree as far as the definitely set them boundaries from the rip. You know what I mean? I respect that 100%. The only thing that I feel like we're slightly uh, different about in that regards is when if there is tension and there is a lot going on right then and there. You know what I'm saying? I feel like me personally, the reason why I feel like it's best to kind of let it calm down a little bit, because I feel like if you're pissed off, right, and you don't piss me off, now I'm responding to you, and I'm letting you know what's up. Now that goes to that we're not gonna listen to each other, because now I'm responding to you. Now I'm doing it all. I'm hyped. So now you like, well, fuck, what you talking about? And then now we're going back and forth. And we're not listening to each other. That's why I feel like it's best to, you got to come like again. That goes to another one of our topics. You know, you're not showing weakness because you're like, you know what? Let me step away from this a little bit. Let me step away from this a little bit, because this is not where it's gonna go. It's gonna get crazy. You know what I'm saying? No, don't get it twisted. You know what I'm saying? We can get crazy, but I prefer not to. I prefer not to let it get crazy. Let it dwell down. Let's actually hear what the fuck each other is saying. And if we can't get onto the same page after that, you know, we'll go about it accordingly. But I feel like just dealing with a situation when you're hot headed, that's not a great move. I feel like that's just gonna
It's
make it,
not,
you know what I mean, make it worse.
because you gonna have the right message, the wrong delivery when you hot headed.
Yeah.
Right.
So let me
And that wrong delivery.
Now, I'm
You said what, SB?
I'm gonna steer back my context, right? So let me make sense out of it, because I understand where y'all coming from. Maybe I kind of jumped the gun, just kind of said it right. So there's two ways of dealing with that, right? You have the room where y'all kind of said some words, but it's not that deep, so you can kind of pull each other to the side and, you know what I'm saying, just have that brief conversation. But there's another side of me which I can't really say everybody agrees with, because this is gonna be the side where y'all don't agree with. I'm going to tell you that if you say something disrespectful or out of line, and we have some words that you can't really come back from, I'm the type of individual where I'm gonna tell you, let's step away real quick. Let's go throw these hands real fast, dap it up, come back to the party. But that's who I am, and that's the way I've been operating for the last couple of years because it's just the way I know how to inhabit things. But I only do that with people that I know I can do it with. So it's almost like I kind of pick, and mind you, I'm not just picking niggas I can beat up. I'm picking niggas who could probably beat me up too. So it's a 50-50 chance at all times. I never try to jump the gun and do something to hurt somebody intentionally. But I also try to get people to understand like there's boundaries to this shit. But to an extent, I put myself in a situation where I have to understand like if I say some shit out of line and this person says they want to fight me, I'm gonna give them respect and I'm gonna give them what they want. But I'm also give people what I want too. But on the back end, I completely understand what you're saying because that's not always the message. But I do. It's just one of those situations where I read my environment too. So if I feel like it's a situation where I can kind of like go man to man, we can pull each other to the side. We can have that conversation because maybe we just not understanding each other on the same page. Completely different. Yeah. If we on this level here, and it's a lot of disrespectful jabs everywhere, going below the belt, we're gonna go outside and handle that for 30, 45 seconds. Real.
Yeah. I respect that 100%. I'm never.
Go ahead.
I'm never gonna say. You will never in my life ever hear me say let a motherfucker disrespect you. I'm never gonna ever say that. You know what I'm saying? Definitely, I'm never gonna say let a motherfucker put their hands on you. You never hear me say that in my life. You know what I'm saying? But only thing I'm saying is like, if we know the difference. You know what I'm saying? If you beat one motherfucker and get to a point where like, yo, words are not gonna fix the situation. We gotta throw these hands.
Yeah.
We know that situation. We know that. You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying we grown. You know, we grown. For one, a lot of motherfuckers don't fight no more. Yeah. Motherfuckers too scared to do that. That's out the rip. Motherfuckers way too scared to fight. You know, I can't, especially nowadays, because motherfuckers get their ass beat. They go virals. It's all over the internet. And then now motherfucker getting shot. And this is a whole motherfucking tumble of shit. You know what I mean? But my thing is like, if you're being, you know, the adult male, being the one that's conscious about it, you know, mental health, being the one that's conscious about trauma, being the one that, you know, all of that shit, we get that shit, you know. I feel like you being conscious of that shit, you should be able to at least try. Like if it's a situation that can be tried to be de-escalated, like, okay, look, bro, nah, hold up. No, so we could say what we got to say, boom, 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 XYZ. This is what it is what it is. But if it, like I said, if it's to a point where it's like, okay, words ain't meeting this motherfucker ear. Like I have to handle that. Do you?
Yeah.
But no, I feel like, but you need to be able to be like, yo, try to talk to this motherfucker. I try to handle it, you know, the professional way, the adult type way. This motherfucker needed these paws, and then after that, if y'all mature enough to be able to like handle that and go in there and talk, cool, whatever. But I feel like just with all that we talked about today specifically, we need to be able to. All right, can we do it? Can this situation get de-escalated without getting crazy? And it's not. Again, we grown now. Like that don't make you no bitch to de-escalate. It's like I don't want to fight my brother, man. I don't want to fight nobody that look like me. Like I'm tired of saying we got the whole world doing that. We got the whole world doing that. You know what I mean? That's what they want to see us do. Like I don't want to do that. Like, bro, if we can we talk about this shit? Yeah, it ain't no bitch, bro. You ain't never gonna be able to say that about me. You know what I mean? But yo, let's handle this conversation like grown men. Talk about this shit out. Hear each other out. Because shit, I ain't even know. And if we want to squabble, we can squabble. But you know what I mean? Like I said, everybody ain't like that though. Everybody's not like that.
Everybody not.
Hey, that's why I keep my circle the way I keep it. I mean, so if you ever get to that point, then kind of like most part, I probably only did that shit like 3 or 4 times out of my whole.
Yeah.
Lost a couple, one.
Again,
but you live.
They ain't built like that though. They ain't built like that though. Like back in the day, we could handle that shit. All right, I'm saying, all right, you good?
Keep it moving.
I'm good. You good? You know what I'm saying? Keep it moving. Nowadays, motherfuckers record. They try to record it.
Yeah,
they posting it. Now they got to deal with all this shit online. Seeing you got knocked out, like, and now you feel like you got to get some get back. Now I got to go get my pistol. Now I got to go shoot this, and it's like, and what was it all over? What was it all over?
That's why.
What was it all over? Like shit, bro over there, he took my French fry off my plate.
Yeah, that's crazy. But see, like,
you know what I'm saying?
Everything I do is discreet though. So when I say I go handle that, like I tell the whole room, hey, look, me and him just ain't seeing eye to eye. Look, bro, me and you gonna step outside. Nobody else, just me and you. And that's how I handle that. But you know what I'm saying? It's completely different because hey, I'm a grown man. I know how to kind of operate with people. But like you said, cameras get in the way. Then tensions really start flaring. That's when shit go crazy. But I always try to make sure, bro. Like if we can't have that one-on-one right there, we can't settle this shit between us with a talk or with this, and it's just us. I don't want to do it. We'll find another time to do it, but I don't do none of that camera shit. Me and you the only two people that's gonna know about it. If niggas catch on, because maybe I'll close a little switched up or turned or something, that be that. But and all we can say is, nigga, we went to squabble, we handled that. We done.
I bet he was out there moving furniture, boy.
Hey, look, man. Hey, sometimes you gotta handle it, bro. Tell you, man.
They turned that V-neck into a U-neck, you say? They turned that V-neck to a U-neck.
Real quick. Hey, man, somebody get the nigga a steak. Put that steak on that nigga eye.
Hey, fucking talking about. Well, shit, man. Look, we pushing
That's
on.
all right. That was a good one. I'll fuck with that.
Yeah, man. We put this shit at $1.15. So we're gonna get this shit up, man. We're gonna Christmas episode going, but yeah, we're gonna go to close the shit out, man. I guess I'll start. I'm gonna let y'all know, man. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. Y'all see the shit right there on the screen. Make sure y'all do that. Get us in the algorithm, get us a little bit more so we can get this shit out there. Respectfully, of course. Of course, the guys don't let them.
Respectfully. First and foremost, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to all. It's like I say every week. It's like I say every week. This podcast is not possible without our supporters, and this podcast is not possible without the co-host. So I appreciate everybody who tunes in. I appreciate y'all guys for making time out of y'all busy weekend just to come in and do this episode real quick. Yeah, man, like, subscribe, and share.
Yeah. Same. Again, I ain't gonna beat the dead horse, but again, like, subscribe, and share. Happy holidays. Follow us on our all of our platforms. Follow me on Good Sense Guided. We just dropped the episode last night. Hilarious. Check that out. I'm creating that YouTube page that's gonna be dropped here soon. You already know where we at on Facebook. Yeah, man. Appreciate your fellas. Happy holidays to y'all, man.
That being said, man, thank y'all for tuning in again, man. Merry Christmas, man.